Welcome back, everybody, to Formula 1 97 Full Season Championship, the final round, round 18 at Jerez practice session. And practice session is pretty much 13 laps around the track, with our main goal and objective is to beat our personal best time. And I also need to mark that Estoril got finished at the first attempt, because that's gonna be helpful for me later when I'm gonna finish this race. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this video game. Alright, round 18 practice session, already explained it. Let's just jump into it. I can already see the weather is setting itself up to be a little bit rainy on the track. Let's see what the Jerez offers, because I do not I remember this track being very weird when it comes to the way that AI is driving. And I need to regain my feeling of the track as well.
With the 107% rule of the past couple of years, we're seeing that the tail-end teams have had to sharpen up their act and spend longer making sure they can do competitive time. This means that the gap between the qualifying time from the front to the back of the grid is now much less.
Normally, motor racing, driving a car right to its limit.
And we got the best personal time of 1 minute 11.6.
But out on the track today, we're seeing some really passionate performances.
Yeah, I can now remember. I can see the racing line.
To darken, and if I look up from the commentary box,
the cars are gonna drive very weirdly across throughout the race. They're gonna drive really. They're gonna take really weird positions before going to the corners. It's gonna be a weird race.
The team will be watching this lap closely on their monitors. I don't think he's going to better his time. He's behind at split 2. Down into second. Down into first.
The track itself is not bad, but it's simply the way that AI is going to be driving is very, very weird. I mean, the moment we're gonna hit the race, you guys are gonna see.
Up into 5th, 6th. And it's a good first split time.
I think I ruined it on the second split. Yeah.
on his previous fastest lap over
Could
the
be a
second
faster
sector.
lap, but trying to fit into the wide open corner is pretty difficult. Because I know I can pull it off with like just pressing a gas button just going through, but I just don't remember how.
At split one, he's up on his best.
Okay, so I can slow down to the 5th gear and still take the entire corner like without any problems. Okay, that's good to know. But I think I have used the brakes a little bit too harsh over here.
Let's have a look at his practice time so far. That's down on his previous fastest lap over the second sector.
Well, definitely getting used to the track, that's for sure, because
Front
we are
wings on these cars have had to be changed in recent years.
scoring better
They
lap
now have a
times.
thicker, rounded end plate, so they can stand a much lesser chance of puncturing a tyre if they hit it.
Let's have a look at his practice time so far. He's up after the first split. Second. Third gear. Up into fourth. Fifth. Up into sixth. Fifth gear. This could be a fast one. He's up.
I think
at
I
the
have found a
second
method
split.
to beat that specific fragment of a track.
One of the problems the drivers have to contend with is visibility. Their visors get very dirty out on the track. Every 5 laps or so they'll need to give it a wipe to keep it clear with the back of their glove or their sleeve. Of course, when it gets really difficult to see,
Okay, yeah,
they
lap
can
ruin.
peel off one of the clear tear-off strips that cover the visor.
Beautiful.
It's a minimal
He's
upgrade,
improving
though.
on his lap times.
It's a
When
very,
you're
very
driving a
minimal
Formula One
upgrade, and
car,
I'm not going to be able to
cannot
beat my
see.
personal best
You're
on this
strapped
lap.
in. You feel every movement. You're part of the car, and if you're tense with the car, it slides that little bit more. You must relax and let the car do the work.
He's down at the first split.
And I'm pretty sure the racing line is going to disappear because weather is getting worse, worse, and worse. Engine OP, stay out of your grass. No promises. If I'm gonna say Sparky shit, he's gonna shit.
I'm looking at his previous times now. He's down at the second
Oh,
split.
that would be so disrespectful if I really would do that. Thankfully, I'm not that kind of person. I don't even own a dog. Though I wish I could. I really love animals. Dog or a cat? Though it seems like
New
cats
safety
are
rules for the design of the
easier
cars
to
this
take care
year
of
have
because they
meant
are
that
more
the teams
independent.
have had to include a deformable structure behind the gearbox to protect the driver in the event of rear impact. Ferrari did this last year, and they've already overcome most of the problems, like excessive
Well, dogs need,
vibrations,
special
which
training.
can crack the rear wing.
Well,
He's
maybe not
already
every single
behind at the
species
first
of the dog,
split.
but a lot of dogs require special training. They need special care.
Down into second.
And the cats are pretty much heat
Up
seekers.
into third. Fourth gear. I don't think he's going to better his time. He's behind at split 2.
Sure, you have to clear the litter box from them and give him a wash every once in a while, which obviously cat don't like water, so it sounds pretty difficult, but still, I believe that even as an initial pet, cat would just do much better. And then move from cat to dog. But though, honestly, if I would ever had to like voice my personal preference on the animals, I would always prefer a dog over a cat. It's just me though. Yeah, we're gonna get rain. I already have saw the first raindrops. So you might finish the practice session in a full rain. I don't know. We'll see.
That's intermediate 2, and he's slower than his best.
But yeah, like I said, the 0.045 of a second, it's not really that much of a improvement.
Well, I can see spots of rain on the monitors now.
So
Let's hope it doesn't turn into a downpour.
She sparked duck? Damn. Genetics.
This looks like a slower lap. He's down at split 1.
Yeah, now, right now my laps are gonna be slower and slower because the road is gonna get even more moist, which means I am not gonna be able to squeeze the maximum effort out of this engine.
Third, fourth. I don't think he's going to better his time. He's behind at split 2. Down into second. Down into first.
The lap times are beginning to get slower now as the drivers have to pick their way more carefully through this damp circuit.
He's down at the first split. I don't think he's going to better his time. He's behind at split 2.
Yeah, probably not gonna get a better time, sadly. Well, on the other side, nobody can accuse me of not trying. Plus 069. Nice.
We've got wet tyres waiting for you when you think it's wet enough out there.
He's already behind at the first split.
Yeah, it's not wet enough for me to react to this weather condition.
Weight is king in a Formula 1 car. Every extra kilo you have to carry loses you about 200ths of a second per lap. Fuel load, as in the aviation industry, is measured in kilos, not litres, and is precisely calculated to give optimum performance for minimum weight.
The team will be watching this lap closely on their monitors. I don't think he's going to better his time. He's behind at split 2. Down into first.
Yep, that will happen.
Second. up into third, up into fourth, up into fifth, sixth gear. Up into third, fourth gear, fifth gear, up into sixth. He's down at the first split.
We've got wet tyres waiting for
Yep,
you when you
going
think
to
it's
the
wet
pits.
enough out there.
We are not gonna beat our personal best time anymore, but at least I can practice this track in rain. And that is good enough for me. I don't know how many laps of fuel I have though. I'm probably something between 2 and 3 laps, so it's not gonna be a long time, but it's gonna have to do.
That's down on his previous fastest lap over the second sector.
Fuel's getting low.
Never mind.
Get ready to come in.
Going to the pits now, and we are not even gonna drive in the rain because we are out of fuel
It'll be
already.
interesting to see how this stop compares with other teams. Watch the time as he comes in.
They
Alright, end the practice session. We're gonna move to the qualifying session, but we're gonna do it from the main menu of the game so the weather can actually reset. That means I'm also gonna take this opportunity to drink some of the juice that I have over here. I got 1 lap, 1 minute 11 and 0.5, which is a minimal improvement, but it's still an improvement. Okay, so qualifying session. It's the same amount of laps. Only difference is that cars are starting to show up, so we might get some drag. We're gonna get cars showing up on the track. We're gonna go to the pits every 4 laps. First lap is a warm-up. Lap 2 and 3, it's the laps in which we are gonna try to get as fast as best time as possible. Lap number 4 is pits, then lap number 5 is warm-up. 6, 7, getting the best time. Lap 8 is the pits, and then lap 9 is a warm-up. Lap 10, 11, and 12 is basically to get as fast time as possible. If it's gonna rain during the qualifying session, then we're basically gonna go to the pits and quit on that session, as there's no way we can get a better time in the rain in comparison to the sunny weather. Let's start. Hope Williams, driver number 1, doesn't take you out. That kind of sounds like I should take out myself because I am the guy.
go!
Overtaking in this track is gonna be so freaking weird.
The drivers in the slowest cars who don't get a time.
Because I can already see, like, I can see the racing line, and the way it spirals and turns. It's just, it is more and more worrying. It is more worrying than I'm probably anticipating. I mean, we're gonna see. I do remember this race being a very weird one for the last season, for the last race of the season.
In a busy qualifying session, a Grand Prix driver has to be really
fucked it up on the last
He brakes
corner.
at the
God
last
damn
moment,
it.
Turns in very fast. Cannot afford any mistakes whatsoever.
That is a horrible time.
That first split time is actually faster than the current fastest qualifying lap. Let's see how he compares with the previous qualifying times. He's up on the leader at intermediate 2. Down into second. Down into first. Up into second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Brilliant!
Okay, that is a little bit better.
Surely put him on pole.
It's 111.8.
He's done a fantastic job. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. If he can keep this kind of speed up, he'll be looking at a good grid position.
Yeah, this track goes weird. And I mean very weird. And AI is gonna follow the racing line too, which is... If I'm gonna fall down the grid for some reason, it's gonna create some really weird situations.
He's up at the second split. If he keeps this up, he could be on pole.
Yep, that's the last round of the championship, the Jerez.
And
Oh,
that
now
has
we got a
to
good
be
time.
the
Okay.
fastest lap.
111.3. I'm happy with that. Not sure if
He's a real veteran of Formula One, and it shows in the maturity of his driving.
not sure if anybody's gonna beat that one, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get that 1 minute 10.
He's already behind his best time at
Ooh,
intermediate.
okay,
one.
never mind. I mean, on this lap we are going to the pits anyway. Very anticlimactic, very weird race to me. Well, in 1997, I think this race was the deciding race of who's gonna get the championship. It was either Michael Schumacher or Jacques Villeneuve. It was the race. And it is sad to say
He's
that
down
Schumacher
at the
have
second
fucked it
split.
up very badly as well.
A new TAR ruling for 1997 is that the teams have to decide in advance which compound to use for both qualifying and the race.
Because he
And
could
having
win
done
it.
So they're limited to a maximum of 28 times.
Okay, so Schumacher's 2 seconds behind me, like 2.3 seconds. And then we have Berger, which is more or less more not competitive, but more or less, you know, more basically a better driver. Yeah, I can go out right now.
He's on a fresh set of tyres, which means that, for a while at least,
And I think this is the
he'll have
only
something
pit
of a
stop
time advantage over the other
in
car.
which I don't cross the lap 5. Like at all. Like right now, this is where I'm starting the lap pretty much. Normally when you go to the pits, you cross the finish line before you even stop. So it creates kind of a off situation, especially in Buenos
Let me
Aires.
just check how that time compares. He's down at the first split.
In Buenos Aires, you can score the best lap time by going to the pits. No joke. for people who are gonna watch the VOD later on YouTube or already have seen the VOD on Twitch, you guys are already able to see it. Like, it was so odd.
Up into
But it's
sixth.
not as odd as driving in this goddamn track.
Down into second. That's down on his previous fastest lap over the second sector.
Each tyre manufacturer supplies two different compounds, a hard one and a soft one. The teams have to decide after the practice sessions which compound they will use for both qualifying and the race. They have to decide whether or not to use soft tyres, which are faster, but may involve having an extra pit stop.
I could
He's
say
already
that
behind
Buenos
at the
Aires was
first
kind of a
stretch.
nightmare for me too. It was a... It was definitely the most action-packed race that I have ever had in this entire season. And I'm not even over-exaggerating. It was very, very...
Let's have a look at the qualifying time so far.
It was quite up
I
there.
don't think he's going to better his time. He's behind at split 2. He's down at the first split. It's incredible. These drivers are controlling a car about half the weight of a Mini, and these things can accelerate to about 150 miles an hour in 6.5 to 7 seconds. That's down on his previous fastest lap over the second sector. Down into second, down into first, second, third gear, up into fourth, up into fifth, sixth. It's the Canadian. Just a touch of the barrier.
Nothing
That
happened.
shouldn't
You
slow
guys
him
have
down.
not seen that. Nope. I totally didn't blacked out for a second and forgot that I'm driving a car. Nope. We're going on this lap onto the pits anyway, so it's not really that big of a
I'm
deal.
looking at the qualifying lap times now. He's already behind at the first split.
I also don't think I'm gonna be able to get a better time. The 111.3 is pretty... I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, front wing is a little damaged, but it's nothing that cannot be fixed. In real life, I will
Let's
be
see
already
how he
dead,
compares with the previous
or at least
qualifying
severely
times.
wounded.
That's intermediate 2, and he's slower than his best.
This band-aid on my thumb is just not sticking at all.
He's on a fresh set of tyres, which means that, for a while at least, he'll have something of a time advantage over the other cars.
Right, lap 9 is a warm-up, and then 10, 11, 12. I'm actually going to try and beat my personal record.
Let me just check how that time compares. He's down at the first split.
With the 107% rule of the past couple of years, we're seeing that the tail-end teams have had to sharpen up their act and spend longer making sure they can do competitive time. This means that the gap between the qualifying time from the front to the back of the grid is now
Yeah,
much
that
less.
braking, that heavy braking
Fourth,
over here was
up into fifth, up into sixth,
totally unnecessary.
down into second. That's intermediate 2, and he's slower than his best.
Yeah, Martin Brundle. Well, shit. Well, took the corner way too sharp, and we are not gonna beat the time on this lap. At this point, it's pretty much a guaranteed, sadly.
He's already behind at the first split.
Yeah, that's already 0.6 of a second of a loss. And there's still lap 11 and 12, though.
That's down on his previous fastest lap over the second sector. Normally, motor racing, driving a car right to its limits, is very much a skill from the head, not from the heart. But out on the track today, we're seeing some really passionate performances.
Well, of course I'm getting a car right in front of me right
Let's see
now.
how he compares with the previous qualifying
It's the worst
time.
timing to get a
That's
car.
the fastest time over the first sector we've seen today. Down into second. Third gear. Fourth. Let's see how he compares with the previous qualifying
The car in
time.
front was so
That's
not needed.
intermediate 2, and he's slower than his best.
Okay, the last lap. I'm not hoping for anything special because we already had probably the timing at least in the top 3. Unless Michael Schumacher is gonna be like, LOL, not 1 minute 10.
If he can keep this kind of speed up, he'll be looking at a good grid position.
Which I know he is a magician. He can't pull out time like that out of his ass. And we got another car in front. A line like that is just perfect for overtaking if anything.
Let's see how
Because I don't have to brake. I can just go on the inside. They for some reason go outside, inside, outside, inside. Which is going to create always a worse situation for them.
Let me just check how that time compares.
I'm happy with
And
this time.
that
I am happy with this time. I will not complain. Let's see which position we got. I'm actually getting pretty tired. Yeah, slight improvement because that Minardi have actually gave me a little bit of drag, a little bit of speed. Yep. I finished up the first, so now it's just gonna be a lunch and just stick with that lead. Schumacher's 2 seconds behind me, same with Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Ralf Schumacher as well. Eddie Irvine is 3 seconds behind me on the 5th position, and Fisichella is on the 6th position. Yeah, that Band-Aid just does not want to stick at all. Okay, so how many laps does this race have? 69. Nice. Okay, we need to set up the car for 35 laps, and then we're gonna set it up for... We're gonna set up this car for 35 laps of fuel. We're gonna do 1 pit stop strategy, and then we're gonna go for 36 laps, so we can just do the entire race. Hold up. Try to put it on again. Nah, the glue is already like done. What is with those band-aids that just do not have a proper glue on them, like at all? They just stick out. They just, instead of sticking to the skin or to anything else, they just go away in like a microsecond. It's just so freaking annoying. Because it is annoying. Alright, anyway, time to start the race. Final race of the championship. Let's go.
Welcome to Jerez for today's Grand Prix. Jerez in Spain has been the scene of some truly exciting races, notably that when Ayrton Senna in his Lotus practically dead heated with Nigel Mansell's Williams. Strangely, it seldom seems to attract a big crowd, but the teams and the drivers are happy to face its twists and turns.
And that was all that he had to say, and I accidentally skipped the grid. That was not what I have intended. I don't guess if you guys can see the gigantic Coca-Cola bottle on the right.
Go! Streaming down to the first corner. He's blown it. He's thrown away first place.
Doesn't matter when they're driving like crazy. They just created the...
Yes!
They just created a freaking reason for me to overtake them. They just automatically created it by themselves. I don't even have to do anything. We're gonna see what kind of weather we're gonna get through this race. Because I don't understand that unnecessary amount of braking from these guys. Like, I just don't get it. Whoever created the racing line for this specific track and decided to program AI the same way, kind of screwed it up. Kind of screwed up the race because it's an easy win.
This is lap 2 of the race.
Of course, it's gonna create some seriously weird situations later when I'm gonna try to lap the other drivers or overtake somebody. And they're just losing time right now. When it comes to, I can already say that no matter what kind of weather conditions we're gonna get, this race is gonna be not only an easy win, but also a pretty disappointing race. Yeah, very easy. I mean, at this point, we just let's just hope that the car is not gonna have a serious malfunction. Or the fact that the rain is gonna pour down, because the rain is only gonna slow us down. It's gonna force us to go to the pits. And I think throughout the entire championship we already had enough rain as it is.
We're into the 3rd lap of the race. The weather's getting overcast now. Let's hope it doesn't get any
I
worse.
think I called it. I think I jinxed it. I jinxed the weather. Yeah, but that's Schumacher, and Schumacher is a miracle worker. Schumacher is actually Ralph Schumacher is actually fourth right now. Not only that, I'm also driving on 100% downforce on the front and the back, because that makes the that makes me get the corners better, but I'm also slower because of that. So, yeah. And I'm playing on the hardest difficulty of the game, which is expert. There's no like master or legendary or anything like that. The expert is the very last difficulty of the game. And it's all because the cars instead of sticking to the hairpin over here, instead of sticking to the corner, they do the weird freaking S-turns left and right, which makes them lose half of their speed as they are driving. Which, you know, at this point, if it's gonna really start raining, it's gonna be just an insult to injury.
The weather's overcast, meaning that conditions are cooler out on the track.
It's almost like the racing line got prepared only for cars that want to try overtaking things. I don't know how to feel about that one.
The front wings on these cars have had to be changed in recent years. They now have a thicker, rounded
They seem
end
like
plate,
of a
so they can
boat.
stand a much lesser chance of puncturing a tyre if they hit it.
Yeah, at this point, most likely.
Let's hope
Like,
the clouds continue
the moment-
to disperse and
The moment
we
we're
see
gonna
a
start
little
lapping
sunshine out
drivers,
in
you
the
guys are gonna exactly see what I'm saying and how weird this track have set up the AI of the drivers. Already plus 13 seconds on the 7 lap, on the lap number 7. Like, this is a little bit crazy.
Race order. Williams number 1. Michael Schumacher. Heights Harold Frenson. Ralph
Well, technically
Schumacher.
speaking, yeah, 10% done already. Now to do the remaining 90%. Like, how is understeer? Okay, if they're following that specific racing line, how the hell is understeering not kicking them off the track? Like, they have to brake really, really hard for that one to not happen. Like, you don't even have to do this. You just stick to the corner. Just hug the corner and your car just drives. I'm sorry, but it really bothers me. When they have a straight line and all of a sudden it goes. On every single lap, on every single checkpoint, I'm getting 1 second more. It's like... I'm happy that I will manage to beat it probably, but still kind of disappointing.
Race order. Williams number 1. Michael Schumacher. Heights Harold Frenson. Ralph Schumacher.
Like, I understand that you want to like take a line of, okay, you're going from the outside to the inside of a track, but this is a continuous corner. This is a continuous turn. Hence why it doesn't make any freaking sense to me. Like, put a couple braking marks as you still cross the corner, and that's it. That's all you really need. Okay, we're gonna see that right here with that Turtle V8 and how they're driving through the hairpin. Like, look. Now they are cutting in, going the outside, braking hard, sharp turn to the left again. Why? Why are you making your life so complicated? And also, why before this corner over here, you are taking a heavy dash to the left, right on the outside of the track? Why? You could see the car just moving to the left. Yeah, this is the very last race of the entire season. Did the game cheat? Nah, on this track, not any amount of cheat is not gonna help the AI drivers. No amount of additional horsepower is gonna make them drive any faster because of how the racing line got created over here. I think the person who created the racing line for the AI drivers was drunk. Like, I legitimately think that guy was basically drunk while creating the AI pathing. Michael Schumacher has actually no reason to come back. We have won all races in a row. Okay, we have technically won all the races, some of them lucky because of the weather conditions, some of them not. But we have managed to win basically all the races that were in this season. So even if by some miracle he would win a race, that would not do anything because he has twice as many points as he got.
Michael Schumacher, Heinz Harold Frentzen, Ralf Schumacher.
First of all, I do not own Formula 1 2022, and I don't think I want it because I have heard some real bad things about that game. And I mean real bad things.
In glorious sunshine, it's a perfect day for motor racing.
Like, besides the obvious, the top of the Formula 1 drivers cheating, like straight up using hacks for grip and stuff, but also the game itself not being the best.
Last year and positioned their drivers lower in the car, reclined further back with their feet raised upward.
Yeah, the multiplayer scene needs to, like, an honest refresh. Because when you have a situation where the top of the Formula 1 drivers are actually using hacks and cheating, and it shows how many of them is actually doing that. That is absolutely horrifying. Like, how can you have a fair and nice and competitive drivers like that when you see shit like this? It's embarrassing. It's an absolute embarrassment. Career is decent? Well, I don't know. I'll probably only play that game in career. Besides, I don't really see a lot of point in buying Formula 1 2022 when next year they're gonna release 2023. And it's gonna be another $70 wasted down the drain because... Just because. I mean, if I would have to buy one Formula 1 game, I would buy the 2020. And that's it. I will only buy the 2020 and just beat the living shit out of the game until there's an actual novelty introduced into the Formula 1 series right now. Because right now we're gonna have a situation. It's gonna be just copy paste with slight UI change and different attempts of setting a different AI behavior of the drivers, and besides that, it's only going to be a multiplayer, and that's it. There's just not enough for me to be interested in when it comes to the Formula 1 games. I can try the Formula 1 2020 because a lot of people are saying it's technically and currently still the best of the Formula 1 games. And I'm willing to test that thesis. Well, if I'm ever gonna get any money, as in have some free cash, which is not gonna happen because the month of March, ooh, it was weak. It was very, very weak. It was a very, very weak month, and I can only hope that throughout the month of April, I'm actually gonna back up a little bit. Because I'm gonna be honest. It's a good thing that I'm not spending a lot of money because this month was just bad. Yeah, you actually will never see me buying sports games.
About a quarter of the way
like driving games, yeah, maybe, but. Like I said, I only would have... The only game that I would actually get myself is Formula 1 2020 to see if I would enjoy it, and that's it. But besides that, not much else. I don't need 2021 because 2021 does not provide anything new, 722. And now we're waiting for 23, and that's probably not gonna do anything good as well. Rare Fantasy Vietnam track? Well, I don't know about it. If you're asking about motorsports or a person about motorsports, I will admit to this. I am not the most well-informed person on the planet. I know a little bit here and there about the 97 season. But besides that, I only look at Formula 1 or any other motorsport if I find something that's actually going to pick my interest. Like for example, the last time that something that picked my interest was Max Verstappen and how he actually evolved from this aggressive little guy that does not respect anybody. Well, maybe not that. I don't think he was actually not respectful. Somebody who was not really behaving very mature for a racer to somebody who scored 2 championships.
Race order. Williams.
As somebody who have got his shit together really damn fast. And managed to impress basically everybody. But besides that, I don't know. Right now, Alonso is being screamed left and right on how best he is. And I don't know about that because nobody mentions Hamilton whatsoever. The moment Sebastian Vettel have quit, nobody is mentioning him anymore.
He's collided with Penis.
There was nothing I could do over there. He went out of the pit stop and he slowly tried to like get into the line, even though He kind of knew I was there. Oh well. It's a front wing damage, but thankfully I managed to slow down before the worst have happened, so it's nothing too big. We're gonna fix that when we're gonna go to the pits alone. Retired last year. I mean, hey, in my opinion, he deserved it. If he thought that he's gonna quit, and he found a good moment to do that, then let him do so. In a matter of fact, I hope I'm gonna see him at some kind of a higher position in Formula One relatively soon. I really want to see him as a, I don't know, maybe not as a crew owner or anything like that. But I really want to see him as somebody who would, like, I don't know, train the drivers, maybe a car tester. I mean, nothing really stops him from being a car tester. Just because you test the cars doesn't mean that you know, that you are back into racing or anything.
But he's overcome the setbacks to take 8 Constructors' Championships, equaling the record of Ferrari.
Who knows what's gonna happen? For now, Alonso remains like the oldest driver in the entire grid. He's like 40-something and he still drives, and he did not lost his edge whatsoever.
Race order. Williams number 1. Michael Schumacher. Heinz Harold Frentzen. Eddie Irvine.
The only team that I'm feeling bad about this year is just Haas. Their budget must be so freaking low right now. I mean, one thing not having a powerful enough car, the other one is drivers that don't even know how to freaking drive. Nice a bit. Ay, ay, ay. I thought I would be able to overtake him. Oh well. Has to have your favorite driver this season? Well, I guess as long as it's not Lance Stroll, you should be good. What am I doing?
A bit of a bump there, Martin. The yellow flags are being waved by the marshals. That's a warning.
I don't know why I thought I could just get into the corner over there. That is my fault. But I'm gonna admit to one thing. I am actually getting a little bit tired. 2 races of constantly paying attention to the track can't do that to you.
The drivers will be getting into their rhythm now for the middle section of the race.
Just being tired will do
One of
that
the
to you.
problems the drivers have to
Also,
contend
it's
with is
so hot
visibility.
in my house.
The
I have
drivers
put
get
way
very
too much
dirty
coal
out
into
there.
my chimney.
Every 5 laps or so,
And,
they'll need to
yeah.
give it a wipe to keep it clear with the back of their glove or their sleeve.
Yep, 1/3 is done.
When it gets really difficult to see, they can peel off one of the clear tear-off strips that cover the visor.
I don't have an AC. I have old brick chimney. And I put way too much coal into it. Because I didn't expect that the weather is gonna go
Race
from
order.
extremely cold to
Williams, number 1.
pretty warm.
Michael Schumacher.
You know, and when you
Mike
combine the
Carroll
temperature from the outside with the
Eddie
temperature
Irvine.
that on the inside, well, yeah. Because normally in this weather I would be pretty relaxed, sitting pretty much chilling in a hoodie. And now I'm just sitting in this long sleeve shirt over here and already kind of boiling. On the plus side, I'm not gonna have to take a look at that chimney for the next 5 days. So it's all good. Hey, don't feel sorry about that, you know. It is what it is. I made a one wrong prediction and now I'm suffering. Also, it's not like the chimney is gonna lose like over 40% of its overall emitted temperature in like next 6 hours, so it's like don't even have to worry about that. Yeah, I don't even know what AC is. Also, if I would ever wanted to place an AC in my house, the entire building is considered as an how to call it? Not as a historical, but it's like something, a building of war that's worth preserving. Kind of listed as a preservation thing. And to build anything in this house, I need a permission from the local government. I need a permission from the architect that I need to hire myself. And I also then, if I'm gonna get a permission from the architect, I need to wait for the permission from the government. And that is a long, long time of waiting. Very long. Hey, Jazz. Yeah, in 30 degrees Celsius is good enough to not even use a chimney. But like I said, the problem have happened that very early in the morning it was raining, it was very, very cold. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, chimney, here we go. I've added all the fuel to the chimney, I made sure that everything's gonna be working before the stream. And by the time the stream have started, the weather got better, it started, the rain have stopped, the sun was blasting through, and there we go. Double heater. I also like the rain. I like to listen to rain,
Williams,
especially when it's night, because that allows me to sleep properly.
Heights Harold Franson, Eddie Irvine.
So yeah, at this point it's basically a situation of it is what it is. And I'm simply dealing with it. And that's Stuart Ford with the car malfunction. I kind of want for the cold temperatures to finally freaking go away, like permanently. So I could stop using the chimney so I can clean it up and probably repair it during the actual warmer part of spring. Because it's an old chimney and it constantly needs repairs. Oh boy, there's a nice line of cars in front. No. Not in a million years. I'm not gonna overtake them all. Yeah, see how they are turning? It's like... It's so unbelievably weird and also unnecessarily difficult to overtake these guys. That you don't... and in the very end, you don't really know how you want to take the corners. And how you want to overtake these guys, like... There's no danger in driving on this track. It's actually very dangerous to try to overtake the lap drivers themselves. Because they are the biggest danger on the track.
Race order. Williams number 1. Michael Schumacher. Heinz Harold Frentzen. Eddie Irvine.
Yeah, bureaucracy sucks. It really does. And I know that firsthand.
This young man had a fantastic first season last year, giving his team
I know that firsthand.
a real run for his money in the championship battle. This year, all eyes will be on the French Canadian.
Because I also have tried to. I have also tried to last year. I tried to take a. How to say it? Basically, I tried to be an official caretaker for my grandmother. And the three men... Oh my god. It's such a stupid story that still frustrates me till this day. Basically, I had to wait for 8 months to receive a final response and paramedic response that I'm basically not going to be allowed to do that.
Another benefit they hope
Not that I'm not going to be allowed to do that, but I'm not going to take any support. That I'm not going to be officially verified as a caretaker of my elderly grandmother. 8 months. And that's 2 months for verifying that she's a disabled person with all her sicknesses. Other 2 months for writing a petition, not petition, but, you know, writing a paper that says, hey, I want to take care of my grandmother. Only for 2 months later to get denied. The reason for the first denial is that they are, you know, they're separating. When it comes to caretaker, there's grandmother, there's her kid, and then there's me. Which then I had basically wrote back in the second letter that my mother is incapable of doing that herself. She's also disabled. And she got some other problems, which I'm not gonna mention. And you know, when you do things like this, when you write letters like this, you include the entire medical history, you involve like the interviews and anything like that. You include everything into like ginormous folder that you then send. Another 2 months after that, I got a permanent and final denial from them saying that they don't care. Well, they don't care. They actually acted like they don't care. Basically, the answer from them was they could not find the medical history, even though it was clearly involved. They couldn't find the first date of when my grandmother was going to the doctor with her specific issues, even though the medical history blatantly shows where and what it is, because the dates, numbers, everything is placed over there. But so for some reason, the 3 doctors could not find the date, and that was the reason why they denied, and they said that it's a permanent decision, and that's it. And now I cannot even like talk to them about that until May, June, until the end of June. Doesn't make sense? I know it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. In a matter of fact, at the very end of the letter, they told me that if they basically told me, and I'm gonna phrase it as polite as I can, they basically said, if you don't like our decision, sue us, LOL. Yep. You know, it doesn't take 3 doctors, it just take one doctor with a good pair of eyes to know this. But nope. Does it take 3 doctors to screen a light bulb? Most likely. Yeah, and you know, if I would be verified, you know, by the government that I am a caretaker, not only it would be classified as a job, like an actual job, I would also get a monthly pay from the government for doing that job. And that would give me a classification, because on top of being have been educated in occupants health and safety, OSHA, in Poland, I would also could be a nurse, like somebody who could work with elderly people. And the government simply denied me that, denied me to get the opportunity. And you know, any kind of money would help. And right now we are in a situation where I basically stream every single day just so I can add something to the home. Like, I'm streaming every single day, mostly not because I want to have money and buy myself shit. That's not the point. My point is always of the stream is to basically be able to add to the bills, and that is always always the point. Like, I don't always have the spare money because of how much adding to the house from Twitch. But it is what it is, you know, bureaucracy wins, hip hip hooray. Gotta love it, you know.
That's halfway.
No. If I would try to go, okay, let me put it like this. If I would try to actually go to the clerk myself with that specific inquiry, I most likely would have to pay myself for the lawyer and pay for the case as well. Do I have the money? No. I'm asking for help, so I was on top of getting taking care of an elderly person, so I could also earn some money while taking care of the elderly person. I don't know what the Minardi was trying to do.
Number 1, Eddie Irvine, Michael Schumacher, Heinz Harold Frentzen.
But you know, doesn't matter.
Tyre wear is getting bad. Come into the pits.
Okay, if tire wear is getting bad, I need to go to the pits right now. So it's gonna be 34, 35. Hold on, 34. That's 34 laps. It's gonna be 68. I'm gonna lap 36 laps of fuel from this point on.
I expect the pit crew will want to do something about the damage to his bodywork.
The team's been practicing this over and over
Yeah,
again.
welcome to Formula One microphone. It's I'm calling him the Walmart microphone guy.
It's a slow stop.
I'm calling him Walmart microphone guy, and that's basically how he sounds. And there's no way to actually mute him down, because if I would try to mute him down,
New safety rules for the design
I would
of the
mute
cars
also
this year
the Murray
have meant
Walker
that the
and Monte
teams have
Brundle.
had to include a deformable structure behind the gearbox to protect the driver in the event of rear impact. Ferrari did this last year, and they've already overcome most of the
Free case
problems,
workers?
like
I don't
excessive
even know what that
vibration,
is,
which
so
can
I'm
crack the
probably
rear
so I
wing.
don't know. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm in such situation in which I cannot even. If there's a one person that needs to take care of this house and my grandmother currently at this point, it's only me. Because I'm not gonna get into too many details about my situation and what it's going the way it's going. But I basically, if there's a one person to do this, it's only can be me. Only a trusted person, nobody else. If I could earn enough money, I would definitely send my grandmother some professional, get her some actual professional care that I would pick myself. But right now, as of current situation, I'm only doing stuff like this myself and nobody else. I'm actually very happy and I'm very glad that I can actually stream for like 7 hours a day. And I am really grateful that I'm still managing to squeeze enough time, but I still need to be there in case something wrong is going to happen. Which so far it didn't happen yet, but you never know. I think throughout all those years that I'm streaming right now, maybe I had like 1 or 2 situations in which my grandmother had done something wrong and I had to help her midstream. But besides that, nothing scary, but still. I need to have one of the ears to the right in case she's gonna call me. Every single day before I'm gonna start stream, I make sure that she has a warm bed, that she has some sandwiches ready, that she has enough tea for like at least an hour or two. Helping her getting up, because the only thing that she can do is either stand up or lie in bed. She cannot sit, and she tends to be an early bird as well. So yeah,
Eddie Irvine, Heights Harold Frenson.
I always feel bad for Minardi. The 97 Minardi was just, a team that existed, and that's it. They released Truly to Prost, and I always believed that if Truly was not driving for Prost, we would not have a situation in which basically he would achieve anything, because I can guarantee you that Truly would basically get kicked out of the Formula One or basically find himself in the Tyrrell, where he would not reach anything good. And when he, as long time as he was with the Prost, they just showed out that he can drive and he can drive fast. Not necessarily scoring any point, but he showed that he can do this. The same happened with Woods when he replaced Gerhard Berger. He also showed out that he has a lot of teeth, despite the fact that he was a pretty much a kind of an amateur, and he made some very horrible mistakes. Like, for example, don't remember exactly the race, but after one of the pit stops that he dropped the clutch. So yeah, that kind of removed him from one of the races. But yeah, there were a lot of drivers that actually showed a lot of potential. Even Olivier Panis have showed a lot of potential before his crash in Montreal. But then again, it's a story of Ligier that they changed into the Prost, and they want to be a pure French championship winning team, in which they had Olivier Panis, but they also had Shinji Mikano, but they put maximum attention to Olivier Panis instead. Therefore, Shinji Nakano did not even care about trying. He was only in 97, 98 throughout the Formula One championship, after which he just disappeared. But Shinji Nakano himself was also a relatively promising driver, considering that he won the championship, I think it was Formula Nippon, in his own home country of Japan. Similar situation with Ukyo Katayama. I mean, Ukyo Katayama did not last very long in Formula 1 because he retired at almost second to last race. I think he retired at Suzuka. Yeah, he retired at Suzuka because his engine had a malfunction. He left the track and he left the Minardi. Only to next year and the year after that, 98 and 99, to start in the Le Mans 24 Hours and actually win 2 races in GD1 category in the Toyota T020, I think. Or I know how the car looks. I can
Race
never
order.
remember how it's actually
Williams
named.
number 1. Michael Schumacher. Eddie Irvine. Heights Harold Frenson.
But Minardi kind of asked for themselves to not really be successful. Because, you know, out of all teams that have already switched their engines from V8s to V10s, Minardi have used the V8 hard engine, same like Tyrrell, but for some reason their hard engine was even slower than the Ford Cosworth V8 that Tyrrell was using. Speak of the devil. But yeah, you know. The history have decided to give Minardi even more difficulties, and yeah. I mean, I'm pretty surprised that the Minardi have lasted as long as they did.
One unique feature of the Stuart car design is the high side pods on the car and the large turning range, which should reduce the amount
I
of
don't know, are they
debris
still
that
driving?
tracks
Oh my
on
god,
the
I'm sorry about
radiator
that.
during the normal
But my
course of the
nose is
race.
super itchy.
This sort of accumulation can actually cause a drop-off between 10 and
Does
20%
Minardi even
in the
exist, or did they get
radiator efficiency.
absorbed by somebody and the team got renamed? I don't remember. But yeah, I know I ranted a little bit, but it is what it is. We started to talking about bureaucracy and, well, one thing went after another. Now, please don't think that I am complaining or bitching about it. No, I'm just saying how it went for me. I'm not bitching. I'm simply trying to, you know, do the best with what I can. Hey, Deckard. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Glad to see you. How's it going? Oh, it goes pretty well. We are currently on the on the very last race of the season.
Eddie Irvine. Heights Harold Frenson.
We are finishing the championship, so I'm actually pretty glad. And tomorrow we'll be able to play something different. Probably gonna jump into Dead Space for like a day or two. Well, actually more or less a week. Because after I'm gonna be done with everything novelty, Dead Space novelty wise, I'm gonna jump into Oblivion and I'm actually gonna play it, because the only thing I need to do is just check if the guide by Push to Win button guy, I totally forgot his name, has been updated. And if it has been updated in any way, shape, or form, then I'm gonna basically apply. I'm basically going to apply the those changes, because technically speaking the mod list is already done, the patches are done. The only thing that I can do is just most likely either create a character or load the save of the character to see if there's not any problems or any corruptions. Oh, free lawyer. Oh yeah, we have something like that. Like a government-assigned lawyer to help you win the case. Yeah, we do have something like that. But still, it's just... It doesn't matter if I win or lose, it's still fees. It would be fees that I would have to pay in the end. And I don't have the money to do that. You started playing Mass Effect and you really enjoy it? That's good, because Mass Effect is good. It's good. It's probably the best sci-fi series, like modern sci-fi piece, besides... Okay, I cannot say that it's better than Star Trek or Star Wars, but it's definitely up there. Yeah, in some cases, yes, it is definitely Star Trek-y. But it's great nonetheless. It's a great game series. Well, besides the Andromeda. I physically refuse to play Mass Effect Andromeda. Basically, nope. No way.
Race order. Williams #1. Michael Schumacher. Eddie Irvine. Heights Harold Frenson.
You could call the Andromeda the Fallout 4 of Mass Effect series. And yes, I went there. Fight me. New generation? Oh, you're gonna enjoy the new generation. It's very good. I did actually grow up with the new generation because it was playing on TV.
1/3 of the race still to go.
When I was a kid, it was actually running on TV. Like in the midday. It was the midday transmissions always. And it was fun. It was fun to look at. Whoa! Where did understeering have showed up from? That was a sudden understeering that I did not expect it to see. New episodes of the Voyager. Yeah, Voyager was also on TV. If I could be honest, if I could, I would basically buy myself the basically I will buy myself the Star Trek series, like some kind of an app, and just access them whenever I want, because they are worth it. That's all I'm gonna say. They're 100% absolutely worth it. Actually, one funny thing, my donation sound when somebody donates for Ko-Fi, it's actually a quote from one of the most famous quotes from the Voyager. Finished season 2? Nice. I think it's pretty obvious that you enjoy it because you managed to go through season 1 and you finished season 2. Let's not forget that Star Trek The New Generation also has some full-length movies. So you can definitely have some fun with those. Wait, did that really happen? Quite frankly, I do not remember. Right now, the Star Trek has the Picard. The Picard have released a new season recently. And from the snippets that I have seen, they actually managed to get the entire team back together. So I might want to watch it though. The Picard series definitely has a mixed reception from the fans. Very, very mixed.
I've said it so many times before, Martin, but I'll say it again. Catching is one thing, passing is quite another.
Alright, 20 laps to go. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the entire third season to get like fully released. Then I'm gonna maybe watch it. Maybe my neighbor is gonna allow me to borrow his account. I don't even remember where he can watch that.
Race order. Williams number 1. Michael Schumacher. Eddie Irvine. Heights Harold Frenson.
And then gonna watch it in the full Paramount Plus. Okay. Or Amazon. I think I watched the season 1 and 2 on Amazon Plus. Right now you have Amazon Gaming too, and they're offering some games too. Amazon is gonna put their fingers whenever they can, right? Wish they could put their fingers into Twitch to see what condition Twitch currently is. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Maybe that would be too twitchy for them. Maybe. Because as much as I love this platform and I'm gonna stick to this with this platform until they're gonna screw up very, very badly. There are some changes that need to happen. Some real actual changes, because otherwise this platform is gonna fall, and I don't really want it to fall. Higher bitrate? Well, if I was a partner, I would be able to stream in 1080p. Because we, as affiliates, we only get 6,000 bits per second, and partners get 8,000. So that 2K of additional bits would definitely increase it. That's still enough? Yeah, but honestly, going anywhere higher than 1080p streaming is pointless. It really is pointless. Like, I'm currently streaming in quite an unusual resolution, 810p.
Williams #1.
But even I would get those additional 2K bitrate of upload, I would only increase the quality ever so slightly, maybe to 964p, and that's it. Which would be like a good balance between 720 and 1080p, I guess. $936, yes. Honestly, I would stream in that with 8K, and that's it. I would not go any higher. No point. There's just no point. I think we're gonna have to go to the pits on like lap 60. So we basically don't have a situation of us getting cold for the tire change on like lap 68. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, always do that. Yep, that's true. Not a lot of people has the knowledge about that. Thankfully, I'm not one of those people.
Race order. Williams number 1.
Because sadly, in most of the guides of like how to set up OBS, when you have a guide, they're only gonna describe, they're only gonna tell you, hey, set up this, and they are pretty much almost always ignore audio and the bit rates that are connected with the audio and, you know, settings like that. A lot of times they're just going with the general stuff and that's it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the pit stop at lap 60 to prevent the tire situation. And from there it's gonna be only 10 laps to go and I'm gonna be a happy man.
Baba Booey.
When you're driving a Formula One car, you cannot be tense. You're strapped in, you feel every movement, you're part of the car, and if you're tense with the car, it slides up a little bit more. You must relax and let the car do the work.
Okay, yep. Understeering took its toll. I should slow down over there. That's one is on me. Yep, at least I didn't spin, that's true. Not much of a loss anyway. This race is like... For the final race of the 97 championship is not... It is... I hate to say that, but you really need to suck to lose this race. Or be extremely unlucky. That's what I said. Unlucky.
Race order. Williams
Because the malfunctions like this is all connected to RNG, including the weather.
Harold Frenson.
But it seems for the last two races of the season, the weather have decided to set itself up to be a sunny, not cloudy, which I can actually appreciate because that makes all the races much shorter. Because rainy weather adds additional 15 to 25 seconds per lap, depending on the track and depending on how you drive. Yep, this is the final round. I mean, I already have... My championship is already won. I have won every single race in a row. Every single one of them. So, yeah. This is basically one race to finalize the entire work. Oh my god, take a look at that line of cars in front. That is actually terrifying. There's just way too many cars. It depends on the race. I'm gonna say later how many attempts I had on which race and which and what kind of malfunctions I had. Alright, on the next lap I'm going to the pits. So I can just change the tires. No, I don't think it's a good idea to overtake over here. I had a couple smokes, but I didn't have like a full fire malfunction. Like 3 to 4 races now. Also, I have made a change to the rules at a certain point because the engine malfunctions were just way too annoying, and I had to adjust something and to change something if I wanted to make this. If I still wanted to complete this and not lose my mind. Alright, the pits are over there.
Weight is king in a Formula 1 car. Every extra kilo you have to carry loses you about 200ths of a second per lap. Fuel load, as in the aviation industry, is
Alright,
measured in kilos,
last
not
10
liters,
laps.
and is precisely calculated to give optimum performance
yep.
for minimum weight.
On
And he
my
crosses the white line into the pit.
first
Down to
attempt
75 miles per hour.
of this
The team's
championship,
been practicing this over and over again until it's perfect.
Um,
and that was an absolutely perfect stop.
on my first attempt of doing this entire championship,
Race order.
I basically had a
Williams,
situation
number
of first
Michael Schumacher,
3 or 4
Eddie
races
Irvine,
being basically
Mike
beaten
Farrell
and
Frenson.
victories. After that, it was 4 failures in a row until Silverstone. Managed to beat the Silverstone. Then I got another 4 or 5 failures in a row. After that, 1 race which was complete. And after that, I made a quick math. I was still 3 races before the end of the season, and I will assume that even if I would not get any malfunctions on the car, right, I would still not win. I would still not win. Basically, in the end, it was like, okay, yeah, this is not fun. Like that was in the end, I would decide to be, yeah, this is not fun, and we're gonna reset. And I did restart it from the round 5. I only made an adjustment to the rule that every time the car has a critical malfunction during the actual race, I reset the round. And so far, we only had, I think in the entire season, we only had 3 or 4 situations like that. I'm gonna take a look at it later when I'm gonna be reviewing the season. Look at, oh my god, look at this. This is such a shit show.
He's just hit Verstappen.
And no,
It's
Verstappen
the
hit
Canadian.
me.
I can see some damage on the car.
He just decided to be like, okay, I'm just going to destroy your front wing.
Damage there. Do you want to come in?
And I'm here like,
Now the course
okay.
officials are waving
I'm gonna
green
have to go to the
flags.
pits.
That means all clear.
So my front wing got absolutely destroyed. And I know for a fact that this guy got a black and white flag because it wasn't right in front of my face. And he definitely deserves it. Because he knows he's getting overtaken. He's not letting through other cars.
The team will almost certainly use this stop to replace his front wing. The
So, yeah, he
mechanics are
fucked it
working
up.
on the damage as fast as they can.
He's hit Missy Killer.
Are these freaking guys blind? Like, you have a pit stop on your left, and you... I am not even gonna comment on that one. I'm glad that I didn't get seriously damaged. That would force me to go to the pits again, because if I would have to be forced to the pits again, you can definitely... I would definitely be annoyed. Like, I barely left the pits and there was no way I could react. There was just no freaking way I could react.
Race order. Williams number 1. Michael Schumacher. Eddie Irvine. Heights Harold Frenson.
I'm gonna say also this much, this pit lane is kinda lame. The exit from the pit lane is not really the best. Because the car needs to go from left to right. And because the pit lane is like, the wall of the pit lane is basically high enough, there's no way they can notice me. So it's a mixed bag of fault of the AI for not slowing down versus how the track has been built. Oh god. Yeah, look at that Tyrrell.
These drivers are controlling a car about half the weight of a minute. And these
Look at that
things
Tyrrell.
can
He's
accelerate
almost
to
not
about
letting
150
through
miles an
for that
hour
McLaren.
in 6.5 to 7
He should like
seconds.
blue flagged and penalized for that into the pits. He really should. 5 laps to go. What is that Tyrrell doing, man? Like he's actively blocking him. Oh, now he's letting go.
They have to concentrate
Nice one.
on two things.
Nice one.
Trying to pass the car in front and trying to keep the car behind at bay.
Very nice one. I'm not even gonna like comment on that one. Because I don't think any kind of comment is actually required. He's probably pulling out the Schumacher in which he... Schumacher during one of the races, I don't remember which year, but he basically ignored... he ignored the pit stop penalty. He got black flagged, and he even ignored the black flag several times. He just ignored it. He just finished the race. And then what happened? They didn't count it.
Number 1, Michael Schumacher.
He
Eddie
finished the
Irvine.
race, but
Heights
it
Harold
didn't count it
Frenson.
for him because he was already disqualified. So he was just driving there because he had a wish to drive over there. But none of what he'd done counted into the points. So.
Of course, as the laps go on, these little potential opportunities that are not really on become greater and greater in their minds. Sooner or later,
3 laps to go.
someone's going to think, I can do it, have a lunge, and the chances are they won't be able to, and end up tangling with the car in front or even going into the barrier. As he crosses the line, only 3 more laps left.
Okay, so they both went to the pits. I actually hate this pit lane. It's just... there's no indication that... there's not real indication of when you can actually go to the pits yourself, you know? There's just no indication of that. Like, there's not a line for the drivers to be like, hey, you can drive over here if you want to go to the pits. Nope. It's just sudden sharp turn. Good luck if you're not going to brake fast enough. And you're going to have a car in front of you. Like, this entire track just screams weird. The racing line is weird, the pit lane is weird. Driving from some of the corners also doesn't make really a lot of sense because understeering just gonna do its magic no matter how hard you're gonna brake. It's definitely something. Last lap of the championship season. It's literally the last minute of this season, and holy crap, am I actually happy about that, because we are about to do something that most likely have not been done in history of Twitch and history of YouTube. I'm hitting a niche that probably... I don't know if anybody's gonna ever discover this. Because as far as I know, on YouTube there's nobody who have done this, the full championship of this game the same way as I did. There's just basically nobody, so I'm gonna say openly that I might be the very first, and if I am, I'm very happy about it, because it's something that I did by myself.
Rule of the past couple of years, we're seeing that the
Stand to the pit, and this is the end of the 1997 Jerez Grand Prix.
This means that the gap between the qualifying times from the front...
It's the end of the 1997 Jerez Grand Prix, also the end of the championship season, and I can finally drink some juice. I finished the race in 1 hour, 26 minutes, 38. Schumacher was behind me, Heinz Franz at third, Ralf Schumacher fourth, with Giancarlo Fisichella fifth, and Eddie Irvine at the sixth position. That gives me exactly 180 points. We have not lost a single race in the entire season due to being overtaken, just losing their positions that way. We simply completed the entire season. Michael Schumacher on the second place with 89 points, John Alesi 44, Gerhard Berger 32. Heinz Harald Frentzen have actually he did not manage to get Gerhard Berger, and he had 31 points. Eddie Irvine with on the sixth place with 29. That places my team Williams with 211 points, Ferrari with 118 points, Benetton with 76 points, Prost with 28, Jordan with 21, and McLaren with 7 points. And obviously I placed first, duh, but GG to me. And of course, every single time you get a championship, you're gonna have a little bit of a video playing in the background, or you will not, and it's gonna basically restart the entire game from the very beginning. It's gonna restart it from the single race over here, and right now I'm gonna use this opportunity because I still have a little bit of time. It was my first attempt to win this specific race. I'm just gonna save this, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the season. It's not gonna be really that much to say. I'm simply gonna say every single race and what was the possible reason behind either me retiring or something else is happening. I don't have tissues to clean my glasses. Give me a second. Yeah, Formula 1 97, no crash, no failure, no refueling, permadeath, win. Because that's definitely gonna happen. Alright, so, on the Melbourne, which was the first round of the Grand Prix, actually I'm gonna do it better. Hold up. First of all, I'm going to clean up my glasses. Because I can barely see. And good God, what a championship it was. Because even before I'm gonna have like a review of every single track and how many attempts it took me to actually win on those tracks, my first, I'm gonna say this officially. I'll probably already have said it several times. But my first attempt of the Formula 1 97, the entire season, went as follows, and I had to really change some rules of the game because it was just, otherwise it was basically highly disappointing and unplayable, and very annoying too. So basically, the races from round 1 to round 4, including round 4, were complete. You know, I managed to complete them on the first try with victories on every single of the races. The problems have started happening in Monte Carlo, Monaco, when I started to get burn. And basically, I had the burn for next 1, 2, 3, 4 races. Basically, they all ended at the lap between 8 and 21. They all ended like that, and it basically all ended up in the car basically burning out into the flames and me not really having a lot of fun. Then we went on to Silverstone, which is round number 9, and we actually managed to win that entire race. And from there, another set of races from Hockenheim to Monza ended up in me just not being able to finish the race because my engine had blown up. A1 ring got complete, and after that we only had 4 races to go. Basically, we're in a situation in which in next 4 races, it didn't matter if I would finish those races or not. I would not win the championship. But winning the championship was the least of my worries. My biggest worry was that my car is gonna break down again throughout the remaining races as I go along, and that would be the most frustrating thing to see, because it was basically at a certain point I was like, it was not freaking fun. So I basically was like, okay, Chad, we're gonna do something like this. How about I'm simply gonna make the change to the rules? And the change to the rules was as follows. Every single time I'm gonna get a fuel line malfunction, which is the malfunction that basically eliminates me from the race. Every single time that happens, I'm restarting the entire round. An entire round is practice session, qualifying, and then the race. So I basically went with that in the chat, and as many people as there were at that peculiar day, people did not mind it me to make a change into that, and so I basically went with that. I managed to do that change, and I went back because I'm a smart boy. I made a separate save states for every single race. So I basically was like, okay, so the Melbourne, Interlagos, Buenos Aires, Imola got finished at the first time. The problem started from the Monte Carlo. Let's simply restart the race from the round 5, and we simply start doing races from there. So now I can start reviewing every single track, how many attempts went, and how it basically felt. If there's something that I could say before, like overall review of the season, is that I wish there were more races in which I'm driving in a sunny, beautiful weather, or when the weather is basically can make up its mind. Because I had a lot of races in which basically between lap 1 to 8 got sun, but then it basically rained up throughout the rest of the race, and there was a lot of races like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was, in some cases it was fun, it was entertaining, but in some cases rain just make all the races just absolutely annoying, and in a matter of fact some of them were even boring. But okay, that is one thing. Now, the first race that we have finished was Melbourne. It was 58 laps on the track. We have managed to score in the first attempt. Can't say if there was a rain. I really doubt there was a rain, but we managed to basically win. It's an easy track to win. It's a very easy track to master and practice, so we have no problems with scoring good time during the qualifying session and even better time during the race. Interlagos, on the other hand, hold up. Maybe I'm gonna do something like this. Hold up a second. There we go. Now I have a good window in which I can operate, I think. Next race. Oh my god. Next race was in Interlagos, and Interlagos was an Interlagos pretty much. You get on the track. I did not manage to get a good position on the grid after the qualifying session, but weather Interlagos was typical. A little bit of sun, a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. It simply jumped from weather to weather. We managed to win the race, kind of pretty much because we have decided to pit once throughout the entire race. That was the strategy on every single race. One pit stop for refueling and no more, no else. And basically, I think we won that race mostly and only because of that. But it was a great race nonetheless. I'm never gonna be able to master that track, not even in a million years. The next track, which was Buenos Aires, and let me tell you guys, I think throughout the entire season, this race was the best and the most exciting, the most action-packed race you could ever, like, you guys will be ever able to see. I mean, you guys can currently see it in the VODs, but for people on YouTube, this is basically, it was chaotic. My car was malfunctioning almost every like 5 laps. I get a smoke from the back of my car, which was not disqualifying, but it was definitely starting dropping a lot of power. And the weather was also just absolutely chaotic. 5 laps of rain, 5 laps of sun, and then again 5 laps of rain again, over and over and over and over again. And I would honestly not win that race. I would genuinely not win that race if not for a fact that cars have to change their tires every once in a while, and I managed to okay, so basically you have a situation, right? This is me going straight through the finish line on the like final 10 to 15 laps of the race. Michael Schumacher was in the pits. He was actually going out of the pits. As he was going out of the pits, I literally run past him, and he could not do anything. He was not fast enough. I managed to do at least 15 seconds of a leadership on the last like 1/5 of the race, and I managed to win it. But boy, was I afraid to lose, because every single time I tried to overtake or catch upon the Michael Schumacher, it ended up in my car malfunctioning. It was really something else. It was, to me, technically, out of the entire season, this was the best race of it. And it actually, you know, I'm actually glad that it happened, but I'm also kind of have regrets that it happened so early in the season. And my nose is super itchy because I'm allergic to dust. Imola was also the first attempt type of race. We basically won. The rain had fallen down, and that was basically it. We have won the race. There was not really much to say. Imola is a pretty nice track to drive. It's a little bit of a horror story when it comes to driving in the rain, but it wasn't really as bad. Next race, which was Monte Carlo, we actually had to do this race twice. It is technically the longest race in the I believe it's the longest race lap-wise, because this is the only track that has 78 laps. So basically, it was very, very long. We had to repeat this race twice, because on the first attempt, the car basically bursted into flames on like lap 20 or something like that, and then we tried it for the second time, and we managed to win. After that, it was Barcelona. It seems to that we have won this race on our first attempt, but I'm gonna say this much: it was mostly because it started raining and it kept raining throughout the entire race. So we basically had more speed. We definitely took corners way differently. We were more careful, but we also basically managed to burst with maximum power as we could during that race, and we managed to basically win it. Maybe we had like one malfunction, but that was basically pretty much it. And Montreal, oh my god, I hate that race. It was definitely one of the more exciting races because we had definitely several crashes. No, actually, I do remember Montreal. In Montreal, we had a situation in which our front wing got destroyed. We either got front wing damage or we had something else. We also had to attempt this race twice before we managed to actually complete it. The first time, I think it was a car engine blowing up on the lap 6 and just not being able to finish the race. On the second attempt, on one of the first laps of the race, if not even on the first lap of the race, it was either smoke coming out of the engine or we had the front wing damaged and we had to go to the pits like pretty much immediately, which caused us to lose every single position on the grid, and it was basically a fight throughout the rest of the race to get that first place. And we did. We actually managed to. Because now I remember. Michael Schumacher, basically it was a situation that one of the other cars on the track had broke down. They were driving very slow, they almost had no power whatsoever. And Michael Schumacher, instead of overtaking the guy on the long straight, I don't know if the mouse is actually showing. Yeah, the mouse is actually showing. I'm actually gonna move this over here, screw this. On the long straight that happens over here, he, instead of going for overtaking, because he could do that, and he, instead of trying to overtake a car, he decided to follow the broken down car, and that pretty much gave me an opening because I was faster on the exit, I was faster on the outside, and I just sneaked right on the right side, which granted me the leadership of the race, and then I pretty much just finished the race because Michael Schumacher have lost way too much time. He tried to catch me on the lap after that, but the thing is, as we were closing to the pit lane on the lap after that, he was inches before overtaking me again, but he couldn't do that because he had to go to the pit stop while I, already filled with fuel, already done with tires, already done with anything, I just simply drove along and I just finished the race. I hate this track because it's more bumpy than the Polish roads in the late 90s, but the race itself, it was actually pretty damn good. It was not Buenos Aires, but it was definitely exciting nonetheless. Magny-Cours. How many times have I ever tried the Magny-Cours track? 3 times. Yes, I remember why now. Because this is actually the track that created the meme of Renardies or Mean-Ardies. Because on the first 2 attempts, basically Minardi drivers were doing everything to not allow me to finish this race normally. On the first attempt, they actively were trying to block me, and on the sharpest corner of the race, which is right over here, it actually doesn't show up if I don't click on the gear. Okay, so on the sharpest corner over here, I have lost a little bit of control of the car. It was actually dry, but I have lost control of the car, right? I have broke a little bit too late. I've tried to turn. I was on the outside because I know that right behind me there is a car. So I went, okay, I'm going the outside. I'm gonna allow whatever cars there is to overtake me. And I'm gonna use the drag to simply try to gain upon them again. what have happened is as I've the English, as I am in the middle of turning of the corner, right? Minardi doesn't even brake. He doesn't give a shit. He just slams me in the side of the car. He just literally slams me in the side of the car. He spins, he loses the front wing, but I lose a little bit more time. After that, I don't know, maybe a couple laps after that, my engine had blown up and I couldn't finish. Second attempt was very, very similar. In a way that, as I was trying to overtake... Hold up, actually, let me look. It was the corner over here. There was a situation where another Minardis were basically blocking like 2 or 3 cars at the same time. Because they are slow. They are very slow. They are possibly one of the slowest engines and one of the slowest cars in the entire game. But anyway, as I was coming for this turn over here, I have noticed that at least 2 or 3 cars are getting blocked. And I was like, okay, they're going wide. I can use that opportunity. I'm simply gonna cut in. I'm already driving slow, but I can make the turn and simply snug myself between all of these cars and simply get like the 5th or the 4th position. What have happened is, as I am snugging in between the cars, all of a sudden Minardi to the right. What have happened? My front hit the back of the Minardi. I lost the front wing, which make me lose a lot of positions to the race. Of course, right there, there's a pit stop, so I was wait to the pit stop, did my whole thing. I went out of the track, and I think somewhere around over here, if I'm correct, because I cannot guarantee that I remember it perfectly, but I think that almost immediately after I left the pit, somewhere around over here, the engine blew up. It was the end of the race. So yeah, again, third attempt actually went pretty well. Because, yeah, we basically managed to win the entire race. There was not really much to say. We won mostly because a lot of cars had to stop because of the tire change. A lot of cars have to stop because of the refueling. They had to stop at least 3 times when I only had to stop maybe like maximum of 2 times, and that was it. Anyway, next race that is on the list, that's Silverstone. And Silverstone was also attended 3 times, which Silverstone race is actually one of my favorites. And the first 2 attempts of this race were pretty much engine blowout. Just engine blowout. There was nothing really specific about that. We have, on the 3rd attempt, we have managed to get onto the track and win the entire race. Silverstone is actually one of my favorite tracks in the game because of how fast you can actually, especially at the very beginning, the fragment from the finish line all the way over here, at least until you get the 4th corner. Like over here, you don't really have to brake down. You don't even have to brake. You just go through 270 kilometers an hour and just go through. You only brake over here because the game doesn't really show that. But you have a very sharp corner in which you have to drop the gear from like 6 to 4. And you have to drop to 210 kilometers an hour so you can actually make a good turn to the right and then slightly to the left, because then you have a nice long straight. You can just create as much speed as you possibly need. You slow down to the 5th gear, you go over here, you drive again, 1st gear on a chicane, go out, and that's basically the entire race. You don't really have to try when it comes to Silverstone, but once you figure out the track, this is super fun. And surprisingly, we did not have any rain. The next race was Hockenheim, and let me check. Hockenheim was a race that I managed to complete on my 1st attempt. I was actually very afraid of this race. Before I'm gonna continue, I need to take my nose drops. My apologies for that. I'm not a professional streamer or YouTuber. But Hockenheim was a race that I was legitimately afraid of. Because in this game, no matter how little downforce you're gonna put into your car, no matter how fast you're going to be, the AI drivers depending on the engine and the manufacturer, they always, I mean, it doesn't matter really, they always gonna be faster than you. Also, Hockenheim is my second least favorite track in the game because it's boring. It's absolutely a boring race. Okay, so basically you have a starting line or a finish line over here. You have a long turn to the right, very long straight, chicane, long straight, chicane, long straight, chicane, long straight, turn to the right, turn to the left, turn to the right, and then you have finish line. Like, it sounds simple, but the problem with the track is there's nothing fucking happening on it. There's no like billboards, there's nothing showing up, there's maybe like 2 or 3 billboards throughout the entire track, and that's it. The track is horribly boring, and I was not falling asleep because I was afraid, because I was actually afraid of losing a race, if not for the fact that I know that I can kind of cheese the chicanes by simply cutting perfectly through. Of course, the second chicane you cannot do that, because second chicane, basically as you drive into it, it's a slope down, so you cannot take a shortcut on that one. But the first chicane and the last chicane you can just ignore. You can just drive through straight on 300 kilometers an hour and just ignore it altogether. If it's not part of Formula 1 anymore, good, because the track is boring. It's not as bad as Montreal, but it's just boring. I hate it. Even the situation was, the only thing that actually brought this race to remote levels of attractiveness is the fact that it rained. During rainy scenarios, every car needs to drive slower. I cannot take the shortcut through the chicanes anymore. I have to drive slower myself, which means every single corner I need to drop down to at least the third gear. Every chicane needs to be taken legitimately. I cannot speed up anymore, because if I would try to do that, my rear would start to spin and I would just simply go, I would not win. I would be constantly in the grass. And Michael Schumacher, being the Chad that he usually is, he was constantly at least 20 seconds behind me and gaining. And at a certain point, I think it was the last pit stop that he did in this race, when I actually gained additional 15 seconds, so I basically lost him. I won the race, obviously, but there were a lot of situations in which I was like, God damn it, please no, please don't catch me. So that was the only thing that was like remotely exciting about this race. Everything else, whatever. Hungaroring, Hungaroring, we have managed to beat it at the very first attempt as well. Hungaroring was very specific because it's not only a very small track, it's also a very tight track. There's not really a lot of opportunities for the player to overtake any other drivers. It's a very small, the corners are very thin. There's only like maybe a few opportunities to overtake, including this straight over here and the slight series of chicanes over here. And that's the only way in which you can remotely even dream about overtaking anybody. Also, the weather was not really decided about what it really wants to be, because at a certain point it was sun, rain, sun, rain, sun, rain. It simply could not make up its mind. Of course, in the end I think we have ended up this race in a fully sunny weather, but this track, when it comes to game-wise, it definitely requires a 100% concentration, because if you're gonna take one corner badly, too slow, or you're gonna end up in the grass, every single other driver that is right behind you is gonna take that opportunity and they're gonna absolutely destroy you. And if you're gonna lose positions, there's not, like I said, there's not really a lot of opportunities for you as a player to retake those positions back. So yeah, it was very extreme, but I'm glad that I managed to finish on the first time. Spa-Francorchamps, which from the spreadsheet I have over here, I've managed to one time as well. It is my favorite race in the entire game. This is my favorite track because it's long, it takes 2 hours to beat. But I really love this race because the AI is cranked up to maximum. You always gonna have to fight to gain that position. You have all the possible corners in the world. You have a sharp turn right outside of the finish line. Then you have a en rouge with the long straight that takes you into variety of different corners, and it's just such a great track. And we have managed to win this, like I said, on the first time. Not really. Why did we win the race? Well, because obviously we have overtaken the Michael Schumacher, which was a leader for a very, very long time. But also the fact that it was raining. We actually had a Belgium Grand Prix in the rain, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I love this track to bits. It's like probably one of the best rendered tracks in the entire game, in my modest opinion. Monza, I remember that Monza have took us like 2 attempts. On the first attempt, my engine have burned because on the second lap, on the last corner of the race, like I said, the engine blew out and I said we went into the grass. End of the race, that's it. There was nothing I could do. On the second attempt, something kind of miraculous have happened, because I was saying, hey, I never really drove Monza in rain. I never remembered that the rain was actually happening on that track. And hey, guess what? RNG decided it's gonna rain. Problem is, Monza is very similar to Hockenheim. You have a lot of long straights, you have very small chicanes, but Monza is still better than Hockenheim because there is more to look at when it comes to the track. There's more corners, there's more things that can actually keep you awake. When you drive, you basically have a very long straight, you have 2 small chicanes in which you have to use to slow down, then you have the turn, then you have another 2 turns, another straight, larger chicane, which is actually changing the way you're approaching this track, another straight, sharp turn to the finish line, and that was basically it. This track is just much more attractive because every single time you'll beat a specific section of the track, something new is actually happening. And yes, I have scissors over here because I was cutting something today and I simply grabbed them. I don't even know why, but anyway, Monza, it was a pretty nice relaxing race in rain. In a matter of fact, the other thing that I remember about it is the fact that Michael Schumacher did not manage to finish the race because of the severe car malfunction. The A1 ring. A1 ring took me 4 attempts to complete. How did I manage to reach that beautiful number? Well, let me tell you. On the very first attempt, Eddie Irvine, on the very first corner of the track, I don't think I can even show it. Yeah, the very first corner is hidden behind the training thing. On the very first corner of the track, Eddie Irvine have decided, in his wisdom, that crashing my front, pushing me to the grass, and destroying my entire front wing was a great idea. Which pretty much means on the first lap I have lost every single position that I had on the track, and I had tried to regain it, went to the pit, changed the front wing, went out into the race. Lap number 7 or 8, engine blew out, whatever. First try, out of the window. Second try, I was so stressed out at that point of that attempt that at a certain point it was raining, and I'm not gonna forget it because it's technically my fault that I had to restart the race. It was raining, I went to the pits to refuel, and I don't know how, I don't know why, I forgot to change the tires. Thank you for interrupting me. That was definitely needed. As it was raining, I for some reason forgot to switch the tires in the menu from slick tires to wet tires. I left the pit stop with slick tires. I crashed immediately into the barrier. The anxiety just went off the roof, and I just lost it. I simply got up. I was so freaking angry at myself that I punched the wall a couple of times. Then I came back and tried to do the... Yeah, I came back and I tried to do this race for the third time. Also, hey, lazy boy. I came back and I tried to do the third time, and what have happened on the third attempt was just ridiculously bad. No. The third attempt that I tried the same day, the car blew up. The fourth attempt was that I have actually finished the entire race. I completed the entire thing, but somehow, for some miracle, instead of saving the game, I have loaded the game. So I basically lost over an hour and a half. Even on the actual attempt, it is visible during the practice session that I was still in shock that how much of an amateur mistake that I made, that I did not save. I have loaded the entire progress of the race, and I was so frustrated. But then again, I sit down, I have just jumped into the game, I won the race, the rain kind of helped, and I basically won the race. I managed to move on. After that, there was Nürburgring, which I think we have won that race on the first attempt. We managed to win this track on the first attempt, and I'm gonna keep my reputation of this track as I did before. It is a brilliant track to drive in the sunny, dry weather. It is an extremely disappointing and boring track to drive in the rain, because every car in the rain on this track is just stupidly slow that you don't even have to try to win. That's all I'm gonna say. Next track was Suzuka, and that was the track that we actually have done today on the stream. I managed to finish it on the first attempt. Never seen the rain on Suzuka until today. This race is like screaming weird all over the place, because while driving this track in rain is pretty pleasant, it's pretty nice. You have to kind of, manage to not to overestimate your speed, especially on the very first corners of the race. Because if you're gonna do that, that's gonna be basically very bad for you. You're always gonna spin. The one weird thing that have happened throughout the race is that Heinz-Harald Frentzen had a critical malfunction. His car was burning, and for some reason, he, in his everlasting wisdom, again I'm having those scissors in my hand, he in his everlasting wisdom have decided to be like, hey, let's not go to the pits, or let's not disappear from the track. I'm gonna stay on the track, driving as slow as possible while burning alive. And I overtook him a total of 15 times throughout the remaining parts of the race, as he was slugging his way through the track, never going to the pits, just constantly burning, just memeing around and calling him Heinz-Harald the Ghost Rider, because that's basically what it was. He was just driving while burning. It was ridiculous. It was an absolute Monka situation. Next race, which is Estoril, and I also managed to beat it on the first attempt. The remaining races that we see are gonna be beaten on the first attempt. No serious malfunctions. I think the only major thing that was about this race is that at the very few 10 laps of the race, we had a few engine smoking situations, and we just need to go to the pits, repair the car. We just went forward, but it was pretty spicy. The other thing that was very interesting that have happened is that Ralf Schumacher finished up second. Olivia Panis was third for quite a long time of the long distance of a race, and Shinji Nakano, out of all people that could ever finish the race, he finished the race third. Oh wait, actually wrong. I am wrong. He actually finished on fourth position, but he had a moment in which he was second. It was just, my mind was blown at that point. But yeah, besides that, Esther Royal, sunny weather, just couple malfunctions, but nothing to worry about. And then Jerez, the last race of the championship. And what can I say about Jerez? This track is weird. It's a weird track. You cannot lose this track, even if you are an absolute amateur. No serious malfunctions, just a pretty much almost a clean race throughout the entirety of it, besides a couple accidents as I was trying to leave the pit lane and I was trying to overtake some cars. A little bit of a blocking drivers, but besides that, nothing really bad have happened. And that's basically is the entire Formula 1 97 season for you guys in a short little retrospective. And oh boy, I am actually pretty happy. I'm very happy with the fact that that we have managed to complete this entire season, something that is most likely never have been completed. At least I have not seen anybody who have done this on YouTube. I posted the full experience with the set of rules that I have established. I'm very happy about it because I always wanted to do this on Twitch. I always wanted to make it as a form of experiment to see how many people is interested. And sure, I had my moments of doubts. I definitely had my moments of doubts that nobody really enjoys this, that nobody really likes this. But thankfully, I got proven otherwise because I can see all of you guys here over here, and that actually makes me happy. I really am. I'm not really the most excitable person because I don't like to over exaggerate with the emotion. Besides, I am a little bit tired. So yeah, but we managed to win the entire championship, and quite honestly, I am hoping to do next championship sometime in the future with another set of rules. I might even pick up a different driver altogether. We will see. Maybe I'm gonna keep the same driver. I don't know. Either way, we're definitely gonna make some adjustment to make this championship even more difficult than it already was. So yeah, guys on Twitch, where I'm still gonna have a little bit of a conversation with you. For people on YouTube, thank you guys very much for watching this entire season and the last race, plus a little bit of summary of the 97 championship. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys have liked it. If you did, consider subscribing, liking, leaving a comment, and supporting me in any way, shape, or form. The music that has been provided to us through the entire season was made by Carl Casey at Whitebat Studio on YouTube and whitebataudio.com. That's the webpage. And yeah, besides that, what can I say? I'm gonna see you guys on the next playthrough of whatever game I'm gonna actually manage to publish at that point. So I hope you guys are gonna have a good rest of the day, what are you guys doing? And see you guys next time.